All right, welcome in. Fabulous Football Friday, Week 5 edition. Let's bring in my guy, Matt Rainier. Matt, this segment right here is kind of classified as how do you bounce back after a loss. We're going to talk about Shady, who's lost a couple in a row. We're going to talk about Pikeview, who lost and dropped down in the rankings because of that loss. How did they bounce back? And we're going to talk about Midland Trail as well, who just suffered their first loss this season. How do these teams bounce back is the question for this segment.
Absolutely. It's all important about how you can recover, because a lot of teams, sometimes you can start off really hot, but if you get you take your first loss, how do you respond when you face adversity? Because it's one thing when you keep winning, it's another thing, can you get back up after that first loss? Because there's been plenty of teams in history that deal with that first loss, and they're just not the same team afterwards.
Absolutely. You're spot on with that. When it gets hard, how do you respond? Just like Matt said. So, how does Pikeview respond? First time into the top 11 in a long, long time. But they were only there for a couple days. They then lose to Westside. They fall down to 20. What happens? Let's go out to Pikeview as Shady comes to town. Early on in this one, Pikeview's driving. Peyton Mounts gets it on the end around, and he is able to get a good chunk of yards before getting thrown down. Next play, Braden Higson turns it to Braden Mullins, and Mullins runs the Tigers defense for 6, scooting around like a young Kyler Murray. Braden Mullins gives the Panthers a lead. Shady's turn on offense now. Shady Hitchcock gets the handoff and squeezes for a couple. Then Cole Cierto on the run, and he's able to get, here comes Hitchcock again, and Hitchcock bounces right through and outruns just like you saw Mullins did. Hitchcock did it too, outrunning the Panthers defense, and Shady is on the board. But here comes the Panthers. Now trying to go coast to coast, couldn't get it. The Shady's defense stands up tall. Cole Cierto now back on the move, connects with a pass, but they have to punt it away, and it's blocked. The Pikeview special teams comes up big and makes a block, and then it's time for Mullins again. Look at him go, shifty, and then diving in with his back to the wall and gets a touchdown. What a play there, and then the defense gets the shoestring tackle, and then it's Higgins. Tip drill to himself for the interception, and how about this? Defense to offense. Higgins with the interceptions. Higgins with the icing on the cake. Touchdown run. Quarterback to cornerback. Incredible job there. Pikeview gets the win after a tough loss to Westside. They rebound just like we said, and they are back in the winning column.
Absolutely. This was I think this was really necessary for Pikeview, because they had 2 solid wins to start off the season, but then the week after that they lost to Westside in a really unfortunate circumstances, really kind of disappointing performance for them. So a blowout game like this is exactly what we needed.
No doubt. And now this is a team that is not bouncing back on a loss. Tell us about Princeton.
Absolutely. So we're going to head out to an electric atmosphere with Princeton heading things off. It's going to be them heading things off. They're going to be taking on the Graham G-Men. Should be a great game right here. Princeton has been all but unstoppable this season. So let's get things going. Both teams shaking hands before the game starts. And Princeton going to get things going. They're going to take a deep shot right away, but this pass is broken up. A great play there from the Graham's defense to keep them out of the end zone. Princeton's offense has been known for just putting up points all season long. The G-Men now going to hand it off, but Princeton, they answer with a defensive stand of their own and get the stop right there. That was Landon Crane blowing up a running play for the Tigers to get things going. Now the Tigers, once again on offense, but he gets brought down in the backfield. A huge tackle for loss. The G-Men, they're not intimidated by the Tigers at all in this one. Princeton now back on offense. It's Barker going to take a shot over the middle. He finds his man, and he's going to outrace everybody. Can he get to the end zone? Yes, he can. Touchdown. Princeton strikes first in this one. But Graham, they're trying to get their offense going too to see if they can try and match this pace. Trying to keep it up. It's going to be Dalton Roberts at quarterback. Going to keep it again. Keeping it himself, and he gets brought down right there, but not before a big game for the G-Men. If it was not broken, he had a chance to keep on running and potentially get a touchdown. And it's Dalton again. Going to take it, and he's going to be brought down by Mosser, keeping things moving for the G-Men. Now here we are on the goal line. Graham trying to punch it in and muscling their way all the way in, and they're in for a touchdown. And I'm a Philly fan, so hey, I love the kind of tush-push kind of esque play that was. That's just really what football's all about, out-muscling the other guy. Now Princeton, it's Barker once again. Chance Barker on the move. He's going to roll out, but it's broken up. It almost was an acrobatic catch right there. It looked like he almost held on to it, but no cigar. Barker now, again, he finds this man. It's Wyatt Klein, and here he goes, turning on the Jets running up the right field sideline. Can he get in? But he's pushed out at the 1. But a couple plays later, they capitalize, even faking out our cameraman right here, and he gets in. Touchdown, and they're on the board once again. That was Bradley Mosser punching it in for 6. Now, Parker, once again, he's going to hand it off. It's Alexander Cox. Here he goes, ripping off a tackle. He's going to try and outrace everyone, but you see right there on the left side, it was a block in the backfield. So instead of that being a touchdown, it's going to set them up around the 30-yard line. But Barker going to find his man. It's Cox once again putting on the spin move right there. And a few plays later, they punch it in for 6. Princeton going on to win 33-14 with this touchdown right here.
Oh, that spin move. Talk about top plays, Matt. You might have one right there. Now we go out to Summers County. Midland Trail on the road looking to bounce back from their defeat. But the Bobcats of Summers County, they're looking for their first win of the season. They want to upset the Patriots. Trail scored early, so the Bobcats working with it. Elijah Franklin runs left, cuts back, turns right, and jukes out a couple defenders and says, let me get to the outside for a big gain. Elijah Franklin putting the ball in his hands and making things happen. Second down now. Franklin drops back, looks around, and finds his receiver right over the middle. Good throw, good catch. Second. Now comes 3rd and 3. So 3rd and 3, Franklin takes the snap, and it gets blown up by Cash Barnhouse. Completely blows up the play. Cash Barnhouse cashing in big on defense. Trail gets it back, hands it off to Jaden Roop, and goodbye. Jaden Roop gets 6 more on the board for Trail. The Patriots are in full control. This one, Race Dickerson, love this play right here. He drops back, looks deep, doesn't see anyone, keeps his feet churning, goes left, finally finds his man, who his receiver moves open for him, Xalen Johns, and Johns does the rest from there. Midland Trail gets back in the winning column with another shutout, 41-0. Matt, let me show you this play again real quick. Caleb, if you can pull this up real quick of this last Midland Trail play. Okay, go ahead and play it, Matt. We're going to walk through this together. And then get ready to stop it when I say stop it real quick. Watch the quarterback here for Midland Trail. Okay, stop it. Look, he clearly wants to go deep, right, Matt? You see that?
Yeah, absolutely. On the left side here, you can see the receiver on the top of the screen right there. It looked like they were trying to go for a deep route on the side there.
Exactly. He realizes he doesn't have it. Watch this, though. Watch how his feet stays moving. He stays active. You see how he stayed moving? Then he was able to get his way outside. His receiver then shows up for him, who opens up. He was guarded. He opens up for him and wins. Isn't that incredible? That is incredible teammate to teammate and in movement by both of those guys.
And it's really great quarterback play. I mean, kind of like with the West Coast offense, really, it's all about that, how your feet work, really. It's the 3-step drop, the 4-step drop, that 5-step drop, really just keeping your feet moving, because that's what really kind of determines the pace of everything, because sometimes you're still waiting for things because maybe you took 3 steps and a hop when really it was a 7-step drop back, and you're wondering why are people not open. But he did a great job just scanning the field, keeping his feet moving, and waiting for things to set up.
Exactly. And they always say when you're a quarterback, if your feet stop, you might as well go into paint, mud. You sink, because it just everything collapses in you real quick. Incredible job there by Race Dickerson. Now let's go to some scores and wrap up what we saw. Greenbrier East, massive win of the night, 45-7 over Oak Hill. Independence, also big win, 31-10 over Bluefield. Princeton with a win over Graham. Meadow Bridge with a big win. They go to 4-0, by the way, Meadow Bridge in Class A. Man, 20-0 over Greenbrier West. Tough loss there for Greenbrier West. And then Trail wins over Summers. James Monroe keeps up the winning streak. Mingo Central and Pikeview all round out the wins there. Matt, real quickly, who is your winner of the night?
I'm going to have to say the game I was at with Independence, really, because they were playing with fire coming into this, because they shut out their last 2 opponents, but then they're playing a white-hot team in Bluefield who had a big win. But really for them to just kind of shut down this high-power offense the way they did, I think is a real statement win for them to keep them moving and churning as they go to 5-0.
I think they clearly showed that they are the class of AA.
Absolutely.
And if anybody wants to beat them, they are going to be going through Independence this year. There's no doubt about that. For me, it was Greenbrier East. Another quad 4 win. 2 on the season, and we're only in week 5. What can this Greenbrier East team do? I cannot wait to see where they go from here. That does it for week 5 of Fabulous Football Friday. What a week it was, but don't go anywhere. The whole squad's going to wrap it up with you right after this.